If you are deliberately trying to create a future that feels safe, you will willfully ignore the future that is likely. What's up, champions? Welcome to another episode of Champion Reads, where we talk about best-selling books and their best principles to help us create our best lives. I am your host, William Blake. Today we are privileged to have the founder of Champion Circle, John Kovacs Jr., joining us this morning. And today is our final, actually, I don't know if it's final. We still have another Friday in this month. Another episode where we talk about The Linchpin by Seth Godin. And I'm very excited about today because we're going to deep dive into the 7 abilities to become a linchpin. And John, I think we should play a game. We should play a game with this. Kind of like a speed dating game where we'll talk about one principle and you and I will go back and forth quick and then just keep going down the list. Sound good?
Sounds fun.
Awesome. All right. Podcasting speed dating. I wonder if that's ever been a thing. But I am stoked for it. Okay. The first ability to becoming a linchpin is provide unique insights, offer fresh perspectives, and innovative solutions. John, I'll just have you start with it.
Yeah, I mean, nobody likes a know-it-all, but people like it when you offer really great ideas. And idea tellers or sharers are those who are like valuable to an organization. You know, when you go to a meeting and you say like, hey, I have an idea, or hey, everything looks dire. Nobody likes the negative people, right? They don't want the people who don't offer fresh perspectives. Instead, they want solution-oriented people. In any organization, whether you work at a corporation or you are a part of a team, you definitely want to offer fresh perspectives and innovative solutions because it makes you and it inspires others. People forget that, like, just because you have something to offer doesn't mean it's all about you. By offering fresh perspectives and ideas, you inspire the people around you and it becomes like contagious. So boom, you gotta offer fresh perspectives.
You just have to, because if you don't offer fresh perspectives, you're just shooting out normal. You're shooting out average ones. And we hear average all the time. I remember in college, anytime I'd meet somebody, they'd be like, hey, what's your degree in? What do you want to do with it in your life? And I'm like, even though that's my degree and I was in business management, that wasn't who I was. I wasn't a business management college student. That was one part of this grand scheme of who Willie Blake is. And so I loved when people would come up and say, Willie, what are you passionate about? Or what is your story? Or if you didn't care about money, finance, connections, resources, didn't have any limits on that, didn't care what other people thought, what would you do? Right? Those questions, they're just so powerful because they don't talk to a specific one area. They talk to a specific, the entirety of the person to go even deeper. So unique questions, unique answers, unique insights, offering those fresh perspectives, great way to be a linchpin.
You got to be different, right? Don't be, like you said, the word average. When you're average, you're just normal. I mean, if my favorite meme ever is a picture of a cat wearing a Batman mask, and the meme says, you always be yourself, unless you can be Batcat. Always be Batcat, right? So it's like you could be yourself. Yeah, you could be average, or you could be who you really want to be. And that's what it's all about. You know, rub some funk on it, really add some glitter, like whatever you've got to do. I remember graduating from college with a degree in public relations communications, and the industry is always keen on talking about taboo topics, and it becomes so redundant and mundane because it's like they can't pick a side, but they want to talk about being right, and they want to stay away from saying the wrong thing so you don't lose your job, and just all these things. And it's like I introduced an idea of like, hey, what if we created like a 5-step system to business, and how public relations creates solutions for business? And they were like, that's not, they threw it down. And so not only should you offer fresh perspectives, but you should receive fresh perspectives. Like you should be open to the idea that, look, our industry is already dumb and boring and average. We should spice it up. We should make it different. We should be open to the idea that, hey, someone's crazy idea might actually lead to something a little bit cooler. And you see this in the world of marketing and advertising. They're always testing out the craziest, newest things. And it's all about just capturing and maintaining your attention. So when you think about your fresh perspectives and innovative solutions, think about something that'll catch someone's eye. The glitter on the bat cat per se, that will say, what the heck am I looking at? And this might be interesting, you know? So just be thinking outside the box is really what I think I'm trying to say.
Every time you say bat cat, I'm like, I am Batman. That's what comes to my mind.
And I think of meow, 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 meow. That's what I think of. So there you go.
Meow. And speaking of cats and Batman, let's jump to the second one of making connections, building networks by linking people, ideas, and resources. Man, it is so important to build a connection with people that are around you, because no Fortune 500 company was made by a single person. It was made by a team of individuals. It was made by like the village of the corporation of hundreds of individuals. And that's because one person is great at really only a few things, might be good at several things. But if you want to build an industry, build something worthwhile and really stand out, you got to make connections. You got to let people be strong in where they're at so that you can be strong where you're at.
Yeah, the ancient African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. And we've always said in the modern day language, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go farther, you go with a team. And a team is a group of people, a network, a web. We are all connected. And, you know, this might also mean that building connections and making connections that link people and ideas and resources is all about being friendly. Like, let's bring in Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People here. You don't always have to be right. Make other people right. Like, enjoy other people's presence. Make them feel like they matter, like they have impact, like they are influential. And you'll take teams further than you'll ever be before. Because if you're always right, you become a non-linchpin. You become the person that people don't want to be around, and it might backfire. So just know that you can help other people succeed by helping them see from your perspective, but by making it their idea. And just follow a lot of those How to Win Friends and Influence People principles, and you can never go wrong. You'll always win. And that resourcefulness of your connection and network will really and truly thrive.
That really goes well with the third principle. Not that we're speed dating. We're
having fun. Yeah.
But they're linking up to each other, which is great. The third one of deliver creative solutions. So approaching challenges with innovation and experimentation. You're right on the money with what you said and connecting those two. It's the way that we approach it that can make all the difference, right? When you're going out and being average, the mundane, and you're trying to fit in with everybody else, you don't stand out. You just don't stand out.
Yeah. Delivering creative solutions, approach challenges with innovation and experimentation. A key word that pops out to me in this phrase and in this step is experimentation. I always talk about putting on the lab coat. I pretend to be a scientist every day of my life. And I could be a social scientist. I could be a lab rat chemistry scientist. I don't care. But everything is a science experiment, because feedback is gold, and results, or the way we get to the results, is all about the operations and making sure it succeeds. And if you want to be a linchpin, and you're the kind of person who talks to the upper management and the executives about things like, hey, the results were inconclusive, or hey, this actually ignited a better solution to our bottom line. When you start talking their language, you become indispensable. You become someone who cannot be let go, because they now realize, oh, he gets it, or she gets it. Like, he understands what it takes to make things happen. And I think, and this is just a personal opinion, we're dating here for a moment, so you can agree or disagree, but it starts with it starts with experimentation. Are you willing to just try it, even though it could fail? And that fear gets in the way, but that openness to saying, I can take risks. I know that if I go down this path, I'm going to get a solution, or I'm going to get a result that will lead to a solution, whether it be positive or negative. So just being willing to do that is such a linchpin move, can I say?
And there's not just one route either. Like, being creative means that it's you, like, you're the one that creates it, and it's different. Me and my brother both have dyslexia, and both are just like very strategic individuals. We love the strategy behind games and life and everything, but we have different approaches of how to get there. My brother will, whenever he gets like a new game or a thing, he'll read all the instructions, learn about it, then start playing it, and then be able to figure out the fun foundation and then the strategicness of it. Me, on the other hand, I want to get to that level of strategic, but instead of like reading the instructions, I like glimpse over them to get the basics of what goes on. And then I just jump right in and start playing the game. And that's how I pick up, and that's how I learn to where we get to the strategic level. Is one faster than the other? I don't know, but it's a different route that is creative for both of us, that fits us, but gets us to the solution that we want.
And building off of that, I mean, that reminds me of the next principle, which is be adaptable and resilient. And this one embraces change, bounce back from setbacks and thrive in uncertainty. And Willie, what you just shared, like, that's a portion of being adaptable and resilient. Like let's jump in and see what happens, but then let's be ready for the next thing because of our results. Like, your track record is going to share so much more about you to others and to an organization than anything else. And that's how you truly become indispensable. But I want to share a little bit about embracing change, bounce back from setbacks and thrive in uncertainty. Like, that's the scientist mentality. It doesn't matter if and when, you fall short of the results, or you don't quite find the solution. What matters is that you're resilient in finding it. It's the exact same thing about Think and Grow Rich's desire statement. Like, if you truly want to find something, if you know deep down in your soul that like there's a solution to this and you're going to get to the bottom of it, you will stop at nothing. I've seen a lot of TV shows lately where a detective is, they just feel it in their gut that they're right, that somebody murdered somebody, or somebody was the culprit of the crime that's been unsolved, and then they're just like on a mission, and they're like busting through piles of paperwork just to get to the answer. And I love that, because that resiliency is what really stands out. And when you're a leader looking down on the people who you work with, you see those people standing out, because again, it's the law of averages. But if you see people that are, just like doing the normal work, they'll hide in the cracks, they'll hide in the shadows for a few years before a major business setback comes in. And because they don't know your name, you're gone. They're going to lay you off. You're not indispensable. So be resilient, be adaptable, and make that shine in who you are constantly. I love that principle.
Right on the money. When thinking about adaptable and resilient, I split in the two. Adaptable makes me think of the quote, we've survived 100% of the days that we've lived so far. That's not just good, that's great, right? And so that means we are just adaptable human beings. Whatever situation we've been thrown in, we've been able to be adaptable. But being able to force yourself to be adaptable is where that linchpinness, I don't even know if that's a word, comes out of you. And that you're able to be creative and provide perspectives and connect with other people on that. Then you got the resilient side, which is like, how do I be adaptable? Well, you just keep doing it. Whenever things hit you, you just keep walking. Whenever things get tough, you just keep walking. And as you just continue to persist, consistent every single day, then you build that resilience to then embrace the change, bounce back from your setbacks, and thrive in uncertainty.
Absolutely. I want to emphasize as we transition again, resilience doesn't mean stupidity. And let me explain. Stupidity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting different results, right? That's the Albert Einstein's definition of insanity, right? Don't be insane. Don't be stupid. But well, I don't think I've ever said that on this show. But resilience is that creativeness, right? And I love how you explain that. And the reason why I said what I said and brought that up is because the next one, the fifth step to being a linchpin, is overcoming resistance. You got to push through fear and doubt to take meaningful action. And that doesn't mean pushing through because the same step is right. It's that pushing through, being creative, using all of the other steps prior to this one, and knowing that you can find a solution. I love that when you push through fear, especially, it's you thinking, I know that this may not turn out right, but I'm willing to risk it because I want to save this company, or I want to find a solution to this project, or I want to have this succeed. So all of that is just pushing through your normal fears. And something that I found, like a little tidbit, like a little coaching tidbit on this, is like, when you have a fear, communicate. Like, talk to your superiors, talk to your side by sides, whoever you're working with, talk it out, like communicate it. Because the more you talk it into existence, the more you can give it a face, give it a name, and it's not nearly as scary as you thought it was when you were in your head and when you were in your thoughts. So overcoming resistance and pushing through fear and doubt is all about that same principle of resiliency.
It's something that really is needed, because if you it makes me think of, as you're a previous athlete, the hurdles that you have to
Oh
do. I
yeah.
think, is it 100-meter sprint, but with hurdles? Is that how
Yeah, in
long
the
is it?
decathlon, it's 110-meter high hurdles for men and 100 meters for women.
Okay. So with hurdles, it reminds me of, most people who don't know about it will just charge forward. They'll do their best without jumping over the hurdles. They'll just charge forward. And every time they hit a hurdle, they step over the line and it just like catches on them and they're dragging it with them. And then you hit the second one and third one and fourth one, and every time you're just adding another one onto it. A lot of people do that. They just keep going forward and being like, I can just push through this. I got this. Well, overcoming resistance, I think, would be stopping for a moment to let them drop, so that then you can just go with what you have. And then once you come up to the next one, figure out how to jump over it. Figure out a way with it. If you have to jump over it, you can. Maybe you can go under it. Maybe you can run to the sideline in the grass and start running forward, right? If there's no rules and regulations with it, you be creative with it. But it's like you push through the problems and you push through the pain, because it's through pain that we progress. And so if we want to progress, we can't have the cupcake fluff and try to go around the bush or over the bush or anything. We got to go through it, because it's through that pain that on the other side we hit that progression.
Yeah. Put that lab coat on, because you need experimentation, doctor. Like, we need to push through, and it's okay if there's failure along the way, but you definitely need to talk yourself into and focusing on those results by providing solutions. And you can overcome those big fears that you're imagining, right? So it's a powerful, powerful principle.
You can push through your, as SpongeBob says, imagination. Which obviously leads us into our sixth principle of lead with emotional labor.
Ooh, emotional labor.
Care deeply, emphasize, and go beyond mechanical tasks. And John, I actually sent you a TikTok about this yesterday. I wish I can remember the person off the top of my head, but he laid out these 4 different layers of how we work. The first one, and I'm just going to paraphrase it because I
It was the
can't
stair
remember.
stepper, right?
Yeah, it was a stair stepper.
Yeah.
The first one was basically the physical, how you earn money and how you provide value. Many people do the physical, which makes between like up to like 40K a year or something if you were to measure it. Next level is the managerial level. The one up above that is the creative level. This is where the authors, this is where the bloggers and the people who communicate with their mouth, right? So you go physical, managerial, and then there's that dotted line, and then you get into your mind and your mouth, which sometimes in our society we use our mouth not in a good way, and we use it to push us away from our goals. But if we're able to use our mouth in the right way, then it pushes us forward and we can earn more money that way. Then the last one, which is imagination. It's using our mind, and it's pretty much an infinite source that we can tap into to be able to make the money that we want and be able to really go out and not just do mechanical tasks, but go beyond it.
You know, the old adage, and in some ways the old cliche, but yet a very valuable principle in most people's lives is nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And so when you care deeply about the project, about those people around you, about the solution, people notice, like, oh wow, like if of all the principles, caring is huge because people notice that. They see emotions first before they see, hard work, right? And that's the one thing is, like, when we were filling out our resumes and applying for jobs at one point in our lives, we wanted to put the fact that we were like, how do I emphasize that I'm a hard worker? Well, no one cares because they expect you to work hard if they're going to pay you. So it's like, how do you communicate that? Well, show the empathetic side. Like when you have a heart that cares about the things and the people and the mission around you, that is seen brighter than a giant scarlet letter. Like, you are so outstanding and people see that. And it's not that you have to walk in with a vibrant color. You could be the most boring, basic black and white person that just shows up every day, but because of empathy and because of caring deeply, you for some reason have a giant red heart on you that people see it and they want to work with you. They want to, like, you become an instant magnet. People care and they're always thinking, I noticed, where was Willie today? Or I noticed, like, wow, I haven't talked to John in like 2 hours. I need some inspiration. Like, they become reliant on your energy because Willie, you and I talk about this all the time. There's something called niceness, being nice, versus kindness, being kind, right? And being nice is telling people what they want to hear, but being kind is telling people what they need to hear. And you do it from a place of love and empathy. Nobody cares if you're going to be nice, right? If you're going to be nice and we call it the niceties. Like, you go throughout the morning and you have the same old conversations. Hey, how are you? How are things? That's not being kind. Being kind is knowing people and really taking a moment to slow down and empathize with them. I love this principle so much. And then the last part is, go beyond mechanical tasks. Like, start thinking, how can I be different with others and this project? Add that emotional labor into your tasks. I could talk about this principle all day. I think it's one of my favorites, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think that we both can. It is crazy important how we need to have a heart when we do the things that we do. Because if we don't, then we're just another AI. We're just another robot going out. And that's what the average person does. They go out to their jobs that they hate and dislike to do something to get a paycheck. Then they come home and give whoever's at home their leftover energy and then repeat day after day after day after day. And that doesn't feel human. Human is when you add heart to it, when you add emotion to it, where you're able to care deeply, emphasize for people, get to know them and what they're doing rather than the boss or manager that we have and the only time they talk to you is when something needs to get done. But the leader, the one who's actually in charge, they're the ones that reach out with empathy, reach out with that human touch.
That's so beautiful. And there's an art to that. And speaking of art, the seventh principle to being a linchpin is create and share your art. Like add a personal human touch that transforms work into meaningful contributions. And I could have sworn you just said that, because this is seriously that final linchpin moment. Like adding a personal human touch to everything is the fact that you care. It's adding that heart, wearing that emotion on your sleeve. And when I say emotions on your sleeve, I'm not saying like take your baggage from home and your drama and live it in the workplace. Not at all. Like what I'm trying to say is like live out your passions, your interests. Take a genuine interest in what you're doing and why you're doing it and the people around you who are helping you. Because sometimes, and by sometimes I mean like 99.99% of our lives, we don't have control over who we have to work with, because we're placed in scenarios where we're part of a team that was hired by the organization that we have no control over. And so if that's you listening to this today, just know, like, take a personal interest in everything around you. Add the human touch that transforms work into meaningful contributions. And again, these are principles about caring. Literally just giving two craps. Oops, said those words I wanted to say something else, but you know what I mean. Like literally wanting to know, wanting to understand, and wanting to be a part of this. That's going to shine deeper in a linchpin and being indispensable than any other principle, because you care. And people can't fire care. And if they do it because they're busted. They're in trouble. And it's only going to lead you to better results in your life, because you now are somebody who's known for really getting involved, really igniting teams. And so win, 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 no matter the loss. And that's the scientist mentality.
And all these principles coming together, as I wrap up my thoughts and then send it to you, is they're all simply one level up. Like if you think of Pokemon, it's like one level up. If you think of any game that you play, it's the difference between being decent and being good. It's like these things of unique insights, making connections, delivering creative solutions, being adaptable or resilient, overcoming resistance, lead with emotional labor, or sharing your art. Like each of these, they aren't difficult. They aren't something that makes you go super duper out of your way to become like the next big Tony Robbins or individual like that. It's simply just a step forward. It's refocusing your mentality into what you want to be. And then in your interactions, as you're out there being human and as you're out there using your creativity, it's simply being able to deal with it in a different way. And because you deal with it in a different way, in a linchpin way, then you just make that tweak and you become good to great. And then as you do it consistently, to outstanding.
There's a great TV show called How I Met Your Mother. And one of the characters always says the word legendary. And he goes, legendary. And what makes Seth Godin absolutely legendary in these principles and how he writes it is that he talks very poignantly. He's very to the point. And the first 3 sentences of this chapter and these principles in his book, Seth Godin says, linchpins do 2 things for the organization. They exert emotional labor and they make a map. Those contributions take many forms. And I love that, because in today's speed dating round, which by the way, this was really fun.
Yeah.
In this speed dating round, we come across so many different ideas and perspectives, but hopefully you're walking away with one thing that resonates with you. And whether you're part of a corporation or you're starting your own business and you need to hire out and find teams, look for people and for qualities that fit any one of these, because you're looking for someone willing to work hard and get results. And that's what it's all about. And I've surrounded myself with a team of people at Champion Circle who I just know care about the mission, who care about what we're doing. And at first they may have started because they cared about like me or the results they were getting out of the meetings, but it's evolved into so much more. And that's something that I look for. And I'm not saying I'm the perfect example, but what I'm saying is surround yourself with people who you want to work with. And if they have qualities that you say, wow, I've never worked with someone, but that person definitely knows how to get it done, or that person is a problem solver. Those linchpin qualities, those magnetic qualities that you cannot live without, are essential. And the last thing I'll share too is I hear a lot of CEOs in CEO conferences and meetings say the same thing, and it's hire people smarter than you. Like, drop your ego, like literally get over yourself, because you're not the coolest thing in the world. You can hire people and bring them on your team who will make this go faster. In fact, if you don't, you risk slowing down the progress of your passion, your project, reaching your goals. And so it's really reliant on you. And you cannot bring on linchpins or be a linchpin to others until you bring other linchpins in. Okay. It's powerful competition, but through competition, you create great collaboration. And that's truly what the heart of a linchpin is all about. So in order to be indispensable, seek these 7 qualities, and you'll find it in your hires, in your own self, in your actions through work and projects. But most importantly, you'll see the results that you're seeking in a very, very positive way.
There you go. 7 abilities for the linchpin. Excuse me. If you
Bless
guys
you.
have found, thank you. That's the end of our episode. If you guys have found inspiration in this wonderful speed dating round of the linchpin, go ahead and subscribe to our podcast. You can find us on all the major podcasting platforms, as well as you can go to our website, mychampioncircle.com, where you'll find the link to our podcast, link to all of our socials, and everything going in the Champion Circle universe. And until next time, champions, continue to be awesome. Continue to make the small difference in your life. And always remember that it is just a small step forward that you need to do to be good and to become outstanding. We'll see you on the next episode of Champion Reads.